A federal charge, but he is not, we're told, by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Chicago in federal custody tonight. But people here at Dolton Village Hall say they haven't seen him either since word of that indictment dropped just a few hours ago.
Two controversial South suburban politicians been fired as federal investigators focus in on his boss.
WGN Investigates has confirmed Tiffany Henyard, senior advisor in Thornton Township, is out of a...
Federal prosecutors have charged Keith Freeman with hiding assets and income in his bankruptcy case, marking another twist in a widening investigation involving multiple lawsuits. Authorities in Dolton and the surrounding south suburban areas are leading the inquiries. Freeman, once a key ally of Mayor Tiffany Henyard, now finds himself at the center of controversy. Henyard initially gained traction for her bold leadership, restructuring her administration and bringing in new staff. However, as more former employees, including Freeman, step forward with allegations, serious doubts about her ethics are surfacing. Freeman, once fiercely loyal to Henyard, has reportedly turned against her, cooperating with the FBI and providing critical information. His involvement in the investigation, especially following his high-profile bank...
He's been in and out of trouble since he was a young person. He was charged for theft in 2000. He was charged with a felony when he turned 27. This was back in 2005. Theft in the second degree. Oh, Keith is a busybody. He has a long rap sheet. He never cleared up his charges because back in 2011, he was in Palm Beach, Florida, where they extradited him back to Ireland. They said out-of-state fugitive. Fugitive from justice. That's your boy, Keith Freeman. Because we all know Tiffany Henyard made a big fuss about not giving background checks. And this is one of the reasons why she didn't want to give a background check. Because anybody that works for municipal department or the city can have felonies.
Bankruptcy case adds further complexity to the ongoing legal battles. With former employees accusing Henyard of unethical behavior, public trust in her leadership continues to crumble, casting a shadow over the popularity she once enjoyed. At a recent village board meeting, Keith Freeman, seated next to EMB Battle, was seen discussing finances with Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Freeman, who also serves as the Ford Township municipal manager, is now facing serious legal trouble. The U.S. Attorney has accused Freeman of concealing assets and income from creditors in his bankruptcy case, a charge that could carry up to 5 years in prison if convicted. On January 3, 2024, Freeman filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Chicago, allegedly underreporting his income. Despite his claims, reports suggest that his actual earnings were significantly higher than what was disclosed. Attempts to reach Freeman and other Dolton officials for comment have so far gone unanswered. Serious allegation has been filed against Keith Freeman by the municipality of Robbins, where he served as village administrator from 2000.
So expensive apartment. You're collecting money from the village of Dolton, and you're also collecting money from Thornton Township. So you're making about $150,000 a year. I'm pretty sure it's more. He's saying that he only worked for Thornton Township. Your income, Thornton Township, municipality manager, gross income $5,800. Now, I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, but from the payroll expenses of Village of Dolton payroll, Keith is on here. This was just in October. Keith Freeman, $3,800 every 2 weeks. And he claims that he only makes $5,800 from Thornton Township, employer's name, Thornton Township. Reason why he's trying to get away with it is because Keith is a 1099 employee. He's not paying no taxes off his income. No Social Security taxes, no medical taxes, no.
2017 to 2021. The village claims Freeman failed to provide required documents, and to make matters worse, he allegedly collected approximately $9,396 more than he was entitled to during his term. Freeman is also accused of further misrepresenting his financial situation by creating a fake 2022 income tax return to to submit to the Chapter 7 trustee. He allegedly supplied documents showing a significantly lower income than he actually earned, despite not filing a tax return for that year. Keith Freeman, once a trusted ally of Mayor Tiffany Henyard, is now at the center of a federal investigation. Beyond his roles in Dolton and Ford Township, he was listed as the agent for the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation, a charity that, according to records, doesn't even legally exist in Illinois. Funded largely by taxpayer money, the foundation failed to file required financial disclosures, raising serious concerns. Freeman's legal troubles don't stop there. He is now charged with bankruptcy fraud for allegedly concealing income and lying under oath, falsely claiming he wasn't paid by Dolton. Prosecutors say he funneled money through a pass-through company to hide his true earnings, which exceeded.
I mean, if a person can lie on their own financials, what do you think they're doing for the village? Nobody is untouchable. That's what I want to say. Nobody is untouchable. So if this is just the first domino to all
$195,000. Meanwhile, the village of Robbins accuses him of unlawfully taking over $90,000 during his tenure as administrator. If convicted, he faces up to 5 years in federal prison. These scandals have shaken Dolton, with community leaders demanding Freeman's resignation. He has pleaded not guilty and was released on a $5,000 bond. His lawyer suggests the case may be an attempt to pressure him into cooperating against Henyard, but federal authorities remain focused on exposing corruption. Adding to the chaos, Dolton property owner Tyron is suing both Freeman and Henyard, alleging they deliberately blocked his business license to seize control of local properties. A building inspector even confirmed Henyard's desire to keep certain properties under her control. Despite mounting investigations, lawsuits, and growing public outrage, Henyard dismisses the allegations as politically motivated attacks. But, as federal prosecutors dig deeper, the truth is unraveling, and Dolton residents are watching closely. The mounting allegations against Keith Freeman and the lawsuit from property owner Tyron have intensified scrutiny on Mayor Tiffany Henyard, suggesting that her grip on power may be slipping. As legal battles unfold, Dolton residents are left questioning whether justice will be served and if Henyard will be held accountable for alleged mismanagement. Freeman, once a key figure in Henyard's administration, is facing severe legal troubles, including accusations of bankruptcy fraud and misusing public funds. His firing from Thornton Township due to absenteeism and misconduct further fractured Henyard's leadership, fueling criticism over her judgment. At a recent board meeting, tensions escalated as Henyard clashed with trustees over financial decisions. Expenses like lavish Amazon purchases, bakery cakes for events, and tens of thousands spent on one-day celebrations raised concerns about fiscal responsibility. Trustees ultimately voted to halt funding for upcoming events, intensifying the divide. Henyard, visibly frustrated, accused her critics of acting out of hatred rather than reason, insisting that her administration had improved the town's finances. Public frustration is growing as Henyard's association with Freeman continues to tarnish her reputation. Allegations of financial mismanagement, interference in local property deals, and extravagant spending, including a taxpayer-funded Las Vegas trip, have only fueled the controversy. Meanwhile, speculation is rising that federal prosecutors may be pressuring Freeman to cooperate in an investigation into Henyard's administration. With lawsuits piling up, political opposition mounting, and public trust waning, the road ahead for both Freeman and Henyard remains uncertain. The coming months will determine whether Henyard can weather the storm, or if the weight of these scandals will bring her leadership crashing down. The mounting allegations against Keith Freeman and the lawsuit from property owner Tyron have intensified scrutiny on Mayor Tiffany Henyard, suggesting that her grip on power may be slipping. As legal battles unfold, Dolton residents are left questioning whether justice will be served and if Henyard will be held accountable for alleged mismanagement. Freeman, once a key figure in Henyard's administration, is facing severe legal troubles, including accusations of bankruptcy fraud and misusing public funds. His firing from Thornton Township due to absenteeism and misconduct further fractured Henyard's leadership, fueling criticism over her judgment. At a recent board meeting, tensions escalated as Henyard clashed with trustees over financial decisions. Expenses like lavish Amazon purchases, bakery cakes for events, and tens of thousands spent on one-day celebrations raised concerns about fiscal responsibility. Trustees ultimately voted to halt funding for upcoming events, intensifying the divide. Henyard, visibly frustrated, accused her critics of acting out of hatred rather than reason, insisting that her administration had improved the town's finances. Public frustration is growing as Henyard's association with Freeman continues to tarnish her reputation. Allegations of financial mismanagement, interference in local property deals, and extravagant spending, including a taxpayer-funded Las Vegas trip, have only fueled the controversy. Meanwhile, speculation is rising that federal prosecutors may be pressuring Freeman to cooperate in an investigation into Henyard's administration. With lawsuits piling up, political opposition mounting, and public trust waning, the road ahead for both Freeman and Henyard remains uncertain. The coming months will determine whether Henyard can weather the storm, or if the weight of these scandals will bring her leadership crashing down. Mayor Tiffany Henyard is facing mounting backlash as accusations of financial mismanagement, abuse of power, and lack of transparency continue to pile up. One frustrated citizen even called her the worst mayor in American history. Instead of addressing concerns directly, Henyard has taken a defensive approach, attacking her critics and dismissing allegations as lies while failing to provide clear explanations for her spending. Tensions have escalated between Henyard and the village board, with trustees demanding more transparency about vendors and expenditures. A special board meeting brought these concerns to the forefront, but Henyard was notably absent. The Illinois Department of Human Rights is investigating her and an unnamed trustee over a sexual harassment complaint filed by Henyard's former assistant, who alleges she was assaulted during Henyard's controversial taxpayer-funded Las Vegas trip. A financial report presented by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot further exposed troubling findings, revealing millions in unexplained credit card transactions and a staggering $3.65 million deficit in Dolton's general fund. These revelations have only fueled public outrage, leading residents to demand accountability. With federal investigations, lawsuits, and political opposition mounting, Henyard's leadership is more precarious than ever. As the scrutiny intensifies, the question remains: can she survive the political storm, or is her downfall inevitable? The people of Dolton are watching closely, waiting to see if justice will be served.